Welcome to 3-Minute Movies. I'm film enthusiast Chris Oxenford, and today you're going to get 2 films for the price of 1. Let's get started. Michael Benjamin Bay is an American film director. Bay's film career began when he was 15 and interned for George Lucas on Raiders of the Lost Ark. Bay was so impressed with that film that he decided then and there to become a film director. He attended Wesleyan University. Once he graduated, Bay started producing commercials and music videos. He won a Clio Award for his commercial for the Red Cross and directed the Got Milk advertising campaign in 1993. These commercials drew the attention of producer Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced Bay's first feature film, Bad Boys. Since then, Bay has produced a series of big-budget summer blockbusters. Indeed, as a producer and director, Bay is largely known for producing movies that feature more explosions than storyline, more action scenes than dialogue, and more special effects than human actors. Bay has won several of the so-called Golden Raspberry Awards for the quality, or lack thereof, of his directing. His filmography includes such cinematic masterpieces as Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, and the Transformers movies. Despite the cinematic quality of Bay's film, each of them has grossed millions of dollars in the international box office. This summer saw the release of 2 more films that Bay had a hand in creating. The 4th Transformers film, called Transformers: The Age of Extinction, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, an adaptation of the cartoon series of the same name. Both of these films capture his unique visual and storytelling style. One, however, is much more successful than the other.
The rules have changed. We are all targets now.
Judgment Day.
Transformers: The Age of Extinction exemplifies the worst of Michael Bay's filmmaking style. It is too long, has too many plot elements that seem to go nowhere, lacks a strong story, and is more about explosions than it is about plot. The Age of Extinction is the 4th film in the Transformers cinematic franchise. It is the sequel to 2011's Transformers: The Dark of the Moon. As The Dark of the Moon was ending, it seemed that the Autobots would be allowed to peaceably settle on Earth. It turns out that within a few years, the humans turned on the Autobots, and Transformers are now a distant memory. Also, some sort of strange alien metal has been discovered on Earth, and Mark Wahlberg has joined the franchise. In addition to Wahlberg, Age of Extinction introduces a completely new cast of Autobots to the franchise, with only Optimus Prime and Bumblebee reoccurring from previous films. It also introduces 2 new villains, Galvatron, who is a new Decepticon created by humans, and Lockdown, an intergalactic bounty hunter. The introduction of Lockdown in this film doesn't really have a payoff. He pretty much shows up, beats up the heroes, and then is defeated. But while we are told that he is a bounty hunter, we are not told who he is actually working for beyond the fact that they created the Transformers. This is clearly setting up for a 5th Transformers movie where these elements will be explored. The example of Lockdown is just one problem with this movie. The film's story is very meandering, starting out on Mark Wahlberg's farm before moving to Chicago and then halfway around the world to China. Elements like the Dinobots, which were featured heavily in the film's advertising campaign, are introduced in the last 30 minutes of the movie. The film also makes use of a character who seems specifically to exist as comic relief, one of Bay's signatures. Fortunately, Bay seems to have learned from the complaints about his previous movies, as this character is dropped by the film about a third of the way in. Despite these problems, the film made over $1 billion at the box office.
Who are you?
Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo.
No, chill. It's just a mask. See? Don't freak out.
No matter the risk, you live, you fight as brothers. Remember, nothing is as strong as family.
Rock and roll, boys.
Leo's in trouble! I've always wanted to try this.
So they're aliens.
No, that's stupid. They're ninjas.
Dude.
In contrast to Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was released this week, shows Bay's filmmaking style at its best. Yes, the film has many fight scenes involving 4 giant mutated turtles, a mutated rat, and a samurai in a robotic suit. Yes, the characters are two-dimensional at best. And yes, the story strains credibility in several ways. But the Ninja Turtles movie has something that the last several Transformers movies have been missing. It's just plain fun. This film definitely reflects a post-9/11 mentality. The plot that the villains have cooked up is essentially the worst nightmare of the FBI and the CIA, a chemical weapons attack on a major urban area using a new form of weapon for which there is no treatment. The Foot Clan, depicted as black mask-wearing ninjas in the cartoon, is reimagined here in a much more terrorist style, complete with guns and ski masks. When they take over a subway station early in the film, Megan Fox's character videotapes it on her phone, which we have seen happen in countless terrorist incidents around the world. Despite its more modern feel, the fun of this movie comes from its characters. The main characters of the film are the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who are just as silly and two-dimensional as they always have been. The Ninja Turtles got their starts in 1984 as a parody of the darker and edgier comic books that were coming out around that time, like Watchmen and The Dark Knight Rises. Wait about 2 years and you can probably see that in theaters. They were then featured in a cartoon series starting in 1987, and then in a series of movies starting in 1990. As in all of their previous incarnations, each turtle is pretty much a singular character trait. Leonardo is the leader, Donatello is the brains, Raphael is the brute force, and Michelangelo is the comic relief.
Give me the camera. Oh, look, he's doing his Batman voice.
Back off, Raph.
Do not say a word about this to anyone. If you do, we will find you.
Yeah, we'll find you. I'm sorry, that came across super creepy, okay? We will find you though.
Besides getting the Turtles characters pretty much spot on, this film also has some other nostalgic moments for adults that grew up watching Ninja Turtles. At one point, Will Arnett's character sarcastically describes the Turtles as heroes in a half shell, which was one of the lines in the 1987 cartoon show's theme song. The Turtle Brothers' love of pizza also makes the jump to the big screen, including being used as an instrument of interrogation by Master Splinter when the characters fail to follow some of his instructions. Even the Turtles' favorite exclamation, "Cowabunga," makes an appearance. In fact, it's said right as the Turtles go into battle against Shredder for the final action scene. Unlike the Transformers movie, this film has no character that specifically exists as a comic relief. There are no skids or mudflap here. But that's not to say that this film lacks any humor. Michelangelo jokes with his brother and jokingly flirts with Megan Fox's April O'Neil quite a bit, in a way that's mostly played for laughs. The inherent silliness of the idea of 4 turtles being trained as ninjas by a rat in the sewers under New York City is also alluded to. Indeed, Megan Fox's boss, played by Whoopi Goldberg, has a few good scenes where she, humorously, dismisses the idea out of hand. That's not to say this film doesn't have problems of its own. They're just much more forgivable than the problems of Transformers. The character of Shredder, who is the main antagonist of the Ninja Turtles during their cartoon show, is underutilized in this movie. He trained the film's true antagonists in the ninja arts, and he has several battles against the Turtles in his giant robot samurai armor, but his character could easily have been combined with the film's other antagonist, and it would hardly have changed the story at all. Indeed, rumors have suggested that this was originally the case, and the change was made following a fan outcry over the recasting of this pivotal villain. Despite these problems, Bay's films strongly appeal to a mass audience. By using well-known figures from our childhood, Bay is able to appeal to the nostalgia that fans feel. Moreover, his films are internationally popular. The simple nature of his stories and the visual way that he produces movies makes it easy to communicate them in languages other than English. Looking at the films he's released this summer, I think it's safe to say that the success for Michael Bay depends on the material he's given to work with. If it's material like Ninja Turtles, which doesn't take itself too seriously, Bay's style works well and produces a film that is both entertaining and enjoyable. However, when he takes himself too seriously, Bay's films can become overlong and terribly slow, as we can see in both Transformers: The Age of Extinction and in earlier films of his, like Pearl Harbor. Overall, the best thing you can say about a Michael Bay film is that you know what you are in for when you go and see it. I'm film enthusiast Chris Oxenford, and thank you for watching.